Shalom Yasharala. Before you go into this lesson, give all honor, all glory, and all praises be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. We give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders of GMS camp. But on great minister for to bring forth the 100% truth that I bring correctly edified under. Shalom to the elect, Tabernacle of David. And I am a brother Kazak from HOY, House of Yahweh Shai, coming to this lesson. Now, this lesson has been brought upon because Christians, as usual, misunderstand, doesn't understand scriptures, telling me, asking me if I'm Muslim. I say, how could I be a Muslim? And he say, due to circumcising and having, that aspect of the way scriptures bring about. So I just find it funny because this shouldn't even be a question. And then he went on to say, I know a group does not teach or promote, but inform that that you can have multiple wives, and so why just don't join the Muslim faith? Muslim and us are not the same. Muslims comes down from the lineage of Ishmael, which I did say, and he say, what? What are you talking about? And he would get hot-headed as per usual, and I had to square off and tell him, hey, if you don't understand scripture, that making no sense. And people was agreeing with him. And saying, I tell this, again, first they judge me wrongfully, not righteously. And then, they do, and then when it comes to the receiving end, they hate to be judged. You see what you say there? They're judging me. But you're judging me just now, as well. And nothing was being, and I made it very clear you're trying to judge, but you're judging unrighteously. I don't understand scriptures, right? So, let's go into the aspects of the lineage where the Muslims would have came upon, or Islam they've come from, to be exact. It shows the descendants by the lineage coming down. We should go down and show you after, right? But as for now, I want to pause because you hear any noise in the background. I'll cross the road and hit a back road to walk to work. So, I'll be out now a little bit. I'll get a little late. Pause. Matter of fact, let's first deal with how circumcision came about into the nation of Ishmael, or Islam to be exact, because right here it says, my question is this how circumcision was passed down to Ishmael? Because it would have been first taught, done to him. So my mistake of the thing, but it says yes, circumcision is first being given to Abraham, then passed to Ishmael. But the key point is who received it first and why. No, I did not say. Notice I did not say Ishmael was the one who started it. I said it was passed down. So they like to make sure and do the thing. Let me leave it because it's a lesson for at the end of the day. The origin of Abraham's circumcision first. Circumcision did not start with Ishmael, which I made very clear. It says passed down to. It cannot be, if it's, what is going on? It cannot be passed down. If it's passed down, it cannot be created by the person it's passed down to. Makes no fucking sense. ChatGPT again. It's hard to rely on them at times because of the foods that they bring out, but let's go. It says it was first commanded to Abraham directly by power, by Yahweh Shem Shai, which we know. But let's go into the precept at the end of the day. Deuteronomy chapter 17, Genesis chapter 17, Genesis chapter 17, 10 to 12, where it says, this is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and she shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money, or bought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed. See? Everyone. So what did happen? What happened after? I believe it's in Genesis. Right there it says, verses 22, verse 23. Yes, and it says, and Abraham took Ishmael. I walked on the wrong side of the road. It's a lock. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day as power had said unto him, the exact same day. And Abraham was 90 years and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. So notice who was one of the recipients to receiving the circumcision. Ishmael. Of course, as Abraham did according to what Yahweh said in his house, in the same manner would Ishmael also pass that down. This is why you have people today which are in Islam practicing things like circumcision. Right? It was a covenant between Abraham and power, and that is that identifier to show so. But at the end of the day, the seed that was chosen, when you go back up, but my covenant, verse 21, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. I had to clear that up so people wouldn't get confused and think I'm talking about Ishmael being of a chosen line or having a covenant with Yahweh Shem Shai. So now that that's clear up. So we understand now the foundations to where Ishmael would have gotten circumcised, and who is Ishmael's descendants. Let's continue. But before we finish that, we had to go back to the main part, the connection between Ishmael and Islam. But let's show it by the genealogy. A simple diagram providing the information would be necessary, right? Right here. My research is very, very vast. I can't do all this today. So, this is it here. So, the question is, all I asked in the beginning, this is what I get. Yes, Islam connects to the lineage back to Ishmael through his descendants, right? And traditional Islamic genealogies, Abraham, Ishmael, Arab tribes, especially in Arabia. Then we have Quraysh tribes, Salak. If I pronounce this wrong, Salak. It's and Muhammad, and then from Muhammad into what? Islam. Which is why they so highly speak about the Prophet Muhammad. It's not hard to understand. But you know, imagine a Christian. This is not even milk. This is basic information to be known. It is not hard. Yet a Christian doesn't understand this. Simple look up. Simple understanding. Yeah, but they're so blind. I don't understand. And the blind and bold face at the same time. How could you not know something and then speak about the same thing that you not know, and then disagree with the person after not knowing it? But we crazy. If you don't know something, hush them out. Don't look stupid. You look stupid, then you walk back in the office and try to be prideful. But yes, you have a serious face, then trying to make joke after. You get cut, you get corrected, you get confounded. I show proof, I read it out, you vex, you go in your office. I don't understand, and I just walk my secretary and keep doing what I'm doing as usual. What is wrong with y'all, man? What is wrong with y'all? Why you coming and contest me over something that you don't even know? It's simple. Do your due diligence, research. I'm going to continue next part. In precept, we're going to post the genealogy of, at the end of the day, of Ishmael. So let's read. Genesis 25 and verses 12, it says, these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And it says, and these are the names of the sons, of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. Firstborn is Ishmael. Then the firstborn of Ishmael is Nebajot, Kadar, and Kadbil, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Dama, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, and Tutur, and Jetur, and Nephish, and Kadima. So these are the sons of Ishmael, and these are the names of their tongues, and by their cattle, 12 princes according to their nations. And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, which is 137 years, and he gave up the ghost, which means, and he died, right? And were gathered unto his people. So, and they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest toward Assyria, and he died in the presence of all his brethren. Now, let me show you something. So as you see, have that location today, Genesis chapter 2 and verses 11, land of gold connected to the rivers of Pison. Genesis chapter 25 and verses 18, from Havat unto Shur, likely modern location. Most scholars place Havilah in the Arabian Peninsula, especially Saudi Arabia, possibly stretching towards Yemen or Oman. This is not hard. Again, a simple lookup. Associated with gold and resources connected to Ishmael's descendants, Arabian region. Fits the east and southeast movement from Canaan. Very simple. This is next one. Shur, right? Mentioned in Exodus chapter 15 verse 25. Israel enters with a wilderness of Shur after crossing the Red Sea. Genesis chapter 69 verse 7. Hagar found by a well on the way of Shur. Hence how she became his handmaid, or her handmaid to lack. It is likely modern. Shur was near the northeastern border of Egypt and in Sinai Peninsula between Egypt and southern Israel. Basically, desert areas of the East Egypt, gateway between Egypt and Canaan. So Havat unto Shur stretches from Arabian Peninsula, Havat across to northern Arabia or Negev region to Egyptian border of Shur. Very simple landmarks as well. Not only showing descendants, a genealogy, but show where they mainly would be. I want to ask that question. My question simply is the main religion in Saudi Arabia Islam? Yes. Make it even more clear. The main and overwhelmingly dominant religion in Saudi Arabia is Islam. Saudi Arabia and Islam. Very much here. Right here. Saudi Arabia is officially an Islamic state. The vast majority of population is Muslim. It follows primarily Sunni Islam. Why Saudi Arabia is central to Islam? Mecca, birthplace of Muhammad and site of Kaaba. Again, information very clear, nothing being added in. Medina, where Muhammad established the early Muslim communities. These two cities make Saudi Arabia the spiritual center of Islam worldwide. Do we need to continue? So making claims and statements that you don't understand. Notice Ishmael was given circumcision And it would be very much clear for David to practice it, that he would pass it down to his generations and generations, meaning his children would have also been so, even if it was mentioned. Because when you look at the information, no one could have been received that circumcision but Abraham. If he passed it down to his son, then how do the rest receive it? Only one clear statement and understanding, and it would have been passed down through Abraham to Ishmael, because it was given unto him naturally, as mentioned of the word of the Heavenly Father, that he had to, every man or male of his household must be circumcised, and he did so. And of course, that would be a trend to pass down to his generation, also showcasing his obedience to his father. It's very simple. This is not hard. So, and we also did get the information as to, yes, it was passed down through Abraham, which you can show again for those who miss it.
Morning.
Good morning. Alright, so we're continuing and showing again. Yes, the circumcision was first shown being given to Abraham, and then it was passed through to Ishmael. But the key point is who received it first and why. And we understand it was given from Abraham and never said anything different. As it passed down, if it be passed down to Ishmael, that means it would have been passed down from Abraham, which was according to the scriptures, law and testimony. This is why we continue to apply Isaiah 8 and 20. This is why it's very important to do your studies. Isaiah 8 and 20 to do law and testimony. If they speak not according to this word, because there's no light in them. This is why I continue to speak according to this word. And no matter what people say, I'm not going to stop. So notice the separation of level of intelligence from these people that doesn't want to understand the scriptures but talk through the ass, and those who study. I end up looking like the one who know, and the heel end up looking like the one who don't. It's not hard. So instead of doing that every single time, do your due diligence research. That makes no sense what you're saying. And we established that. I even showed the information, and he didn't want to see it. Well, you walk away because you realize you're talking shit. And I'm not afraid to say that. If you're talking shit, you're talking shit. So I hope this lesson is very clear and edifying. That Abraham, that circumcision came from Yahweh Shemel Shai through Abraham, and this is how many of these Muslims practice circumcision today. Because again, for those who even didn't do the research on that, just to finish it off, is circumcision practiced in Islam. Circumcision, which is Kahethan, is a common and widely practiced tradition in Islam, especially for boys. Very simple. Religious status, it is considered a sunnah, prophetic tradition in many Islamic schools of thought. It says some scholars consider it obligatory, especially for males, when it is usually performed in childhood, often between infancy and puberty, depending on culture. In some countries, it is done early, in others later, with a family ceremony. Islamic basis, circumcision is not described in detail in the Quran, but it is supported through teachings attributed to Muhammad in the Hadith literature, right? Continuation of the traditions of Abraham. Notice what it says: continuation of the tradition of Abraham, who is viewed in Islam as a model of monotheism. So it comes back a complete circle. This is why it is important to study why this matters in Islam, which is the answer has already been given right there, right? The bottom part of Islamic basis. The bottom part, right? The answer has already been given. But let's continue. Why this matters? Seen as part of purification it says linked, which is fitra, linked to following the example of Abraham. Need we continue? Answer even more from top to bottom. It says common cultural religious identity marker in Muslim communities. Bottom line, yes, circumcision is a long established and widely practiced practice in Islam, rooted in prophetic tradition and connected back to Abraham and in Islamic belief. So, were we talking shit? When I mentioned it started from Abraham, which was passed down to Ishmael and then come down to who? The Muslims or Islam itself, because there's a connection between Ishmael and Islam, which we already proved. Where's the answer? Yeah, because just to make sure you didn't miss it, just to make sure you didn't miss it again, let me go back into it. In case you didn't miss it, in case you missed it, Salak, I want to pull it back up. How this lineage is understood in Islam, the traditions, Islamic genealogy is Abraham, Ishmael, Arab tribes, especially in Arabia, Saudi Arabia to be exact. Right, the Quraysh tribe, Salak, and Muhammad, which is now understood as the religion of Islam, their belief. So, all this lesson was very clear. Very much clear. This shouldn't even be something to do a lesson on. That's the problem, isn't it? It should not even be something to do a lesson on. Yet people, like these people, have been rejecting the knowledge from time and time and they are now, they are now perfect fools. And they claim themselves to be a pastor boy. A pastor boy, but you have no knowledge. A pastor having no knowledge. A Christian. Okay, wow. Fuck. Alright. Shalom Yasharala. Kal Halaliam Yahawa. Bahasham Yahushai. Bahasham Kakudash. Brakatham. Shalom on to the next one.